Vambora. Nossa, 2 FPS isso daí. Meu Deus do céu. O bagulho tá rodando pior que Bloodborne. Boa tarde. Ah, calma, mano. É só a intro do bagulho.
Hello, guys. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Dying to Know. If you're dying to know what's going on in the world of Dying Light 2, then you're in the right place.
Yes,
Here we'll be showing you all the news, the latest from the Dying Light world. We'll be announcing a few contests. We'll be talking to developers, and probably most importantly, we're going to be showing you a brand new gameplay trailer where you can see the current state of the Dying Light 2
Ah,
game.
mano, eu não gosto muito desses eventos que eles vão ficar conversando, mano. Eles vão ficar conversando, eu não tenho paciência, mano. Eu gosto de ver o trailer só, velho.
Roaming like a Japanese Ronin or an Old West desperado. My past is dark.
Ele não sabe falar português, eu acho que ele não sabe não, mano.
As a tiny dying light at the end of this tunnel.
Olha quem que é!
Hello, guys. My name is Jonas Scott and I voice Aiden Caldwell in Dying Light 2.
Ah, é o cara que dubla o mano.
I'm going to host this program with Leia, if you don't mind.
My pleasure. Well, I'm ready. Jonah's definitely ready. And I hope you're ready.
Harry
So,
Potter.
if you're dying to know, just
Nada a
like
ver,
us,
mano.
then stick with us.
O Flake's Power. Caralho, pior que é o óculos, né, mano?
Story told in Dying Light 2
Parece que eu também, né? Não parece?
years after the events of the first game. And if you're wondering what happened in those intervening 20 years,
Ó, igualzinho eu.
there's no better person to ask than the Dying Light 2 world director,
Todo mundo
Thomas
parece eu,
Lavau,
mano,
with
essa
who I'll be
porra.
talking in just a moment.
And after that, I'll be speaking with Piotr Jemenic, the narrative director of the game, so about the characters that appear in Dying Light 2.
Não, o rosto dele ele é mais quadradinho que o meu. É tipo eu com harmonização facial, tá ligado?
Welcome to the show, Thomas. So the first question I have for you today is, do I need to have played Dying Light 1 to sort of understand what's happening in Dying Light 2?
No, actually, you
Aí, ó,
don't.
você não precisa jogar um pra saber o 2, mano. Mas eu vou jogar. Mas eu vou jogar mesmo assim, mano. Tadashi vai pelos 3.
In a way, you could say that Dying Light 2 takes us to the world beyond the apocalypse.
Lembra o Galaxy
Intriguing.
mesmo?
All right, tell me more, please.
Well, you remember the events of Heron in 2014. Well, after that, world leaders, they had a tough choice to make. They had to isolate the city of
Seu
Heron.
rosto não é quadrado, o meu
For
não.
that, they created an
Fazer uma
exclusion
harmonização,
zone.
que
Like
vocês
in
acham?
Chernobyl, only a
Nem
lot more
brinca,
people
mano.
left to die inside the walls.
Yeah, right. So they just isolated the entire city. And did it help? Did it stop the virus?
Yeah,
Sim,
for
está
a while
louco.
it worked.
Nunca.
Enough for everyone to forget about it, at least. Only in secret, a handful of scientists continued to study the virus. You know,
Umbrella, pior que
manipulating its
parece, né, o
DNA,
bagulho ali
creating new
atrás.
strains. They were looking for commercial military applications. So, you know, they're doing it for the money, really.
Yeah, of course. So what happened next?
Well, next, the shit hit the fan. By Christmas 2021, one of these mutated strains escaped from a level 4 laboratory located near Geneva.
Só malhar que vai dar
We
certo.
know
Malhar o
if
rosto?
if this was accidental or not, but this time the virus was much faster than any government.
Mano, mas todo jogo tem vírus, né, velho? Já não basta a nossa vida real, caralho. Faz um jogo sem vírus, mano. Todo jogo tem um vírus mortal, cara.
By the end of 2023,
Porra!
98% of the population had been lost to the virus. There was a few settlements remaining, but only one city was still standing. The last bastion of
FIFA não tem?
mankind, or city, Villador.
Cara, você pode devia estar jogando
the
FIFA,
city.
né?
Right, so Villador is what we have left. So that's everything that's happened outside of the city. What actually happens inside Villador?
Well, the city has unique
Rocket
walls.
também não tem.
First of all, it's surrounded by seemingly impassable walls. And inside the walls, the people they decided to use a radical new weapon against the infection, which actually gave them the upper hand in the first stages of the pandemic, but it also created terrifying
Caralho,
new
moleque nem o
monster
Dráculos, o Morpheus em Dráculos 15.
15 years on, a new equilibrium sort of emerged in the city. By daylight, human factions fight to control the city, and at night, the streets become the realm of these bloodthirsty.
O jogo era mó da hora, né?
monsters.
Que de noite os zumbis
Great.
ficavam
Well,
muito louco, né?
that is
Eu não lembro, faz muito
extremely
tempo que eu
interesting.
joguei.
Thank you very much, Thomas. And we'll be
De dia
hearing
os zumbis
more
era
about
meio Zé
how the
Ruela, né? Daí
fantastic
chegava de
city
noite os bichos ficavam
soon,
muito
I
louco,
hope.
né?
But first, I think we need to hear a little bit more about the characters.
É um gato aqui, eu acho. Ouvi um Rambo?
Our second guest is a man of two industries, cinema and gaming. In a previous life, he wrote the hit HBO series
Gato.
Bataha. And then he moved on to Techland to become a narrative director. Piotr Jemenic.
Hi guys, thank you.
So, we have plenty of time to talk about the rest of the characters in Dying Light 2.
Parece que é entrevista dentro do jogo.
But today, I think we want to focus on
Mas é, né?
Caldwell, the protagonist.
Eles estão num cenário aí, tipo, num cenário, mas no fundo é o cenário, é o mapa do jogo, parece. Né?
Outcasts, you know? The group of people traveling through this dangerous world of Dying Light 2 called pilgrims, because he's looking for his relative, the person whom he lost many years ago, and that person is his only memory from the past.
Gameplay vai ter, vai, no fim, provavelmente, mó rolê. Eu só tô aqui pela gameplay, falar pra vocês, eu não ligo muito pra essas entrevistas, chat, eu peço desculpa pra quem liga, mas, mano, eu não aguento o cara falando coisa que eu não ligo muito, tá ligado? Eu prefiro só ver a gameplay, é mais da hora, mano. Por isso que eu nem fico prestando muita atenção, mano.
The weak die, the strong survive, and Aiden, he just has to
os
be
caras ficam falando do jogo, sei lá, tipo, eu entendo, né?
Like
mas, pô, eu vou ver isso daí quando eu jogar, né? Então.
That's the main question of the game, and the player will have opportunity also to decide how Aiden will evolve.
O Reminho, vou falar oi!
Will it distract him from his main goal? Or maybe he will just strive to the end of his search as soon as possible.
I can't imagine trying to survive or live in a city like that as a lone wolf by yourself without any kind of support.
Well, he's not gonna be alone, you know. He will meet many people. But again, depending on the player choices.
Sai da câmera e deixa ele.
Become his allies, but some of them will become his enemies. One of the group he will
gameplay a gente viu na E3. Não lembro se eles lançaram pro público, acho que lançaram, né?
Special force officers.
Gizzy, brilha pelos 10.
The army's cynicism and lack of concern for common people.
Oi, Remy, você vai dormir.
To help the people during the night. And the night, as you know, is pretty horrifying in the game.
Já vai começar a doer minha perna, mano.
Aiden joins the Night Runners?
Oh, that's the question, my friend. The player will have to answer too. I won't spoil the pleasure of discovering.
Mano, muito engraçado. O cara faz a pergunta se o Aiden se junta aos Night Runners, né? Como se ele não soubesse, mas ele é o dublador do cara, então ele sabe, né? Muito. Ah, mano, vergonha, né, mano? Porra, mano. E fazer essa pergunta, o cara é o dublo, o cara, ele já sabe, é ator, né? É ator, mano. Cadê a gameplay? Tem gameplay. Tá chegando o chat. Ai, Remy, desculpa.
We need to talk about something which is basically at the center of the Dying Light universe, which is
the community. Over the past few years, Dying Light has amassed over 23 million players.
Caralho, é gente, hein?
95% positive review rating on Steam.
Which in Steam Talk is overwhelmingly positive, so bravo.
Yeah, we'd like to take a few seconds and thank you guys.
Thank you all for
Eu que agradeço, meu príncipe. Vou deixar um like lá na Steam, tá?
With others of Dying Light, and thank you for these great moments spent together.
Chat, inclusive spoilers. Talvez a gente rejogue o Dying Light 1. Eu nunca joguei em live, só joguei gravando na época. Um co-op, hein? Para quando? Não sei, mas estamos em conversas aí já. Os amiguinhos. Provavelmente um pouco antes de lançar esse, eu acho. Não sei, mano.
Join the Dying Light universe.
So check out dyinglightgame.com/contest, and if you win, there's a fantastic monetary prize on the line. There's some other great rewards you could be in with a chance with winning as well.
Vai ser uma loucura. Nossa, eu falei pra eles, falei, mano, vai ser uma merda jogar isso em co-op. Porque tem muito diálogo, né? Muita história. Daí eles falaram, a gente combina de ficar quieto na hora dos diálogos. Combina assim. Tá bom, conheço bem, mano. Conheço bem esses moleques.
For those of you who haven't experienced Dying Light yet, we are introducing Dying Light 1 Platinum Edition.
Infelizmente o final não é co-op. Como assim o final não é co-op?
And we're offering it to you now at an historically low price. All the content, lowest price.
It's literally no better time to buy than now, and you can get it on Steam,
Nem o começo?
and PlayStation.
Ah, é?
Get your Platinum Edition of Dying Light now. This is the best offer, like, ever. I guess we don't have time to go over everything that's in the Platinum Edition.
Como que é então? Você joga tipo o tutorial solo no começo, daí abre, e daí depois, no final também você tipo perde até meus amigos, tipo isso? Ninja, Remy, meu microfone, seu louco. Boss final que não pode jogar co-op. Ah, mas... Ah, da hora, pelo menos você tipo... O começo você joga solo, que deve ser meio que um tutorial, pelo que eu me lembro, né? Que você tem que subir na grua, lá, grua é o nome, sei lá, mano. Ficar pegando o negócio, levar pra alguém, eu não lembro exatamente. né? Daí é sozinho. Daí quando o jogo abre, você entra com os amigos, faz o jogo inteiro co-op, né? E daí pra matar o boss final também você joga solo, é isso? Ah, da hora, eu não ligo tanto, pra falar a verdade. É bom até. Né? Você consegue prestar mais atenção no começo e no fim.
Okay, so I'm excited because you guys are in just a second gonna see the official gameplay trailer for Dying Light 2. And then after that, we're gonna interview some of the devs that made it possible.
Ah, eu não vou ver entrevista depois, eu vou ver só o trailer, mano.
Here it is.
Vambora, chat, é agora, hein?
Hey, everyone. We've been quiet for some time, since, like the rest of the world, we had some unforeseen hurdles to clear. But the wait is over. Let's dive into the open world of Dying Light 2. The last slice of Dying Light 2 showcased the mission from the main storyline.
You get after those fuckers.
You saw how your decisions influenced the narrative and notably changed the environment.
Nossa, quando eu assisti esse trailer, eu tava lá na E3, numa salinha
We
secreta.
want to give you a broader look at the game and a sneak peek at some of the things we'll be talking about in upcoming months.
Triste. Fica na lembrar pelo fim. A história.
In Dying Light 2, you become Aiden Caldwell, an outsider trying to unravel a tangled mystery from his past. Its trail leads him to the city, probably the last bastion of mankind in the world.
Eminho, você quer sair?
Shit!
Para de destruir minha parede, louco.
At first, you feel like this intense, brutal place will tear you apart. But then you meet the Night Runners, veteran survivors who help people in better days.
By the way, I'm Hakon. You were a Night Runner. You used to help people, remember? Night Runners are gone. Finished. A myth.
A animação tá muito bem feita, né? Nossa.
And although it's not entirely clear you can trust them, you need allies in the dark.
A animaçãozinha tava maravilhosa, mano, o cara pulando.
And these are the modern Dark Ages. It's been 15 years since the apocalypse and the world has changed.
E13, cara, esse filme é absurdamente bom, mano.
Has fallen.
Unreal
has been
13.
built on its ashes. People fight desperately for scarce resources.
Esse filme é velho, hein, mano?
And weakness is punished.
She's innocent.
Three factions struggle for position in the city.
É o ator de B13? Era ele mesmo? Aquele cara foi um dos criadores do parkour, não foi um bagulho assim? Dos primeiros caras a fazer parkour, algo assim, mano. Pelo que eu me lembro. Da hora se botaram ele no jogo, mano. Nossa, esse filme é muito bom, mano, chat. Fica a recomendação. É um filme francês, se eu não me engano, chama B13. Acho que é B13, não lembro. É muito bom, mano.
Use these factions to reach your goal.
É velho, eu não sei de quanto que é, mas é velho.
Help or harm them to reshape the city to your liking. Just remember, each faction contains complex characters.
É de 2004? É, eu lembro. Eu nasci assistindo esse filme.
So, will you follow cold calculation or your heart?
The bazaar needs good people. Help us and you'll find a home here.
Some in the city offer
Imagina
no
quem tinha
chance for
14 anos
alliance.
assistir esse filme.
Bandits, outlaws, and common thugs live only to plunder and kill, plunging the streets into chaos. Yet, nightfall scares all of them equally.
Cara, eu acho que esse jogo vai ser bom. O 1 foi muito bom, esse daí parece ser muito bom também.
Darkness changes the rules of the world. As the light fails, monsters crawl out of hiding to prey on the poor souls caught outside the safety of UV rays. Hordes of infected pour into the streets like decaying lava. The deadly spawn of 15 years of mutation and evolution. Only escape? Exploit the city's verticality and flee to the roofs. Though even there, you are never safe.
Que plataforma será que tá rodando esse trailer, esse jogo, né? Que eles estão mostrando. PC, será? PC a 30 FPS, mano. Eu só acho ruim isso, tinha que estar 60 FPS essa porra. A não ser que eles estão mostrando realmente a gameplay de um Play 4 rodando a 30, beleza. É, pelo menos não estão mentindo, né?
But those brave enough to face the terrors of the night can loot a jackpot.
Play 4 nem roda isso. Esse jogo não vai lançar pra Play 4?
Luckily, you have all the tools you need to survive. Your extraordinary parkour skills allow you to navigate even the most treacherous terrain.
Porra, cara.
On the roofs, you can count on your parkour acrobatics to save your life.
Nossa!
But often, you'll have to face your enemies head on. And then you have to be smart, resourceful, and determined. We've worked hard on the essence of our combat, making sure swinging a big, meaty weapon is fun, satisfying, and well executed. But even the most brutal fights can be tactical as well. You have multiple ways to hone your skills toward the gameplay style that suits you best. It's up to you if you focus mostly on mobility and parkour, or aggressive, blunt force combat, or a crafty approach with the
Cara, as animações estão muito boas, velho.
job done. Every ability you learn can be a game changer and possibly a new favorite move.
Né?
Things move fast and quick in Dying Light 2. Each moment matters. Each move could mean triumph or defeat. Choose your actions and friends carefully. Everything you do in the city can reshape the gameplay environment, change the course of the narrative, and decide the fate of the city's residents. But most importantly, you decide your own fate as well.
You're about to turn.
Make sure to stay human.
An extensive post-apocalyptic world. And I really like that divisiveness, you know, the life on the roof and then death on the streets.
Yeah, like the intensity of the day and the night cycle together.
It's almost like Dying Light 2 is two different games put together into one.
Yeah, like despite that, despite all the brutality going on the ground floor, there's something about like the rooftops.
O cara tá há 3 anos pra falar a data, não fala a data.
I kind of want to be there. But it does feel like every decision is vital. Like your choices actually do have
7 de
some
dezembro,
consequences.
né? 7 de dezembro foi o que vazou, né? Vamos ver se confirma isso.
Gameplay. And we're going to interview some devs and talk about some other very vital gameplay mechanics.
Tá, Chase, será que vale a pena a gente continuar assistindo isso, mano? Agora os caras vão meter entrevista com os devs, mano.
Pizza Shizevsky. Hi.
Welcome. And that gameplay looked awesome. I know we can't wait to get our hands on it, but congrats.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like you guys have a very unique world.
Acho que não vai ter mais nada, né, de tipo gameplay.
Inspiration from?
Oh, that was a research. We did a deep dive into the history of our world.
Só entrevista, mas deixa eu ver se tem alguma coisa no Twitter deles falando alguma coisa útil.
Same behaviors in the past after the fall of civilization or after the fall of the nation that's supposed to be a backbone of our world. So our approach was super simple. We just
Deixa eu ver.
And show you how
our world
would look like after the fall. However, it's
tô
kind of obvious that the main reason that civilization fall is virus pandemic or eventually the
Quanto tempo será que vai ter isso, chat? Será que eu quito, mano?
Basically obvious thing. But it's even darker if you connect those things with the research we did
2 horas
at the beginning of the production. So people will question everything. They're gonna blame everything and everyone that's supposed to guide us in our lives every day. So they're gonna blame governments, they're gonna blame law, they're gonna blame science, or even religion. Some people might ask themselves that where was God when it happened to us, basically, you know?
E o Replus 10 tá dando sono, Alan? É dorme, mano. Fiz daí Replus 36 a falar o Replus 19, fimosa encurtada Replus 4.
So Dying Light 2 has a subtitle,
Mano,
Stay
tá com sono,
Human.
dorme. Melhor
What does
coisa quando
that
tem sono é
mean?
dormir. Você dorme
Well,
bem.
it's
Ó,
super hard to remember
nossa, à noite eu
those
dormi bem, hein, chat.
values
Falar pra
that
vocês.
makes us human, so, like,
Dormi
compassion
igual
or
um
support.
bebezinho.
So,
Acordei
the entire
muito bem.
flow
Nenhum
of
gato
those
me
dark
acordou
times
de
we
manhã.
have is a big test for everyone, and I think it's even harder test because to stay human, people would sacrifice what's the most
Senhora.
important for them, or
Os
sometimes
gatos
risk
sempre me
their
acordam de
lives.
manhã,
Wow,
mano.
so
Essa
that's,
vez
like,
ninguém me
really
acordou, velho.
intense. And
Acordei
there's, like, the
na
obvious
hora.
double
Perfect.
meaning to it, which is what I was thinking. Stay human, don't become a zombie.
Chat, tô com preguiça de assistir
Yeah,
isso,
but one
mano.
disclaimer, those are not zombies.
Eu vou assistir mais 2 minutos. Se não tiver mais nada que presta, eu vou fechar, tá? Já vi uma gameplay, foi da hora.
Crossing a line, you know, and they're
Né?
turning to be a monster, you know, because in Dying Light we all infected. Yeah, we all wearing this
Quita.
biomarker, you know.
É, 2 minutos,
wearing
2
this,
minutos.
I'm wearing this. That's a watch actually, but you know that, you know. So that's the thing. So the challenge
minutos, 2
is
minutos.
to not cross this line at all costs. So that's the biggest challenge.
2
of being
minutos.
human.
Diana,
in
abriu
this
pelos
meaning.
1 ano. Manda sup, abriu pelos 9, mano. Tá quase nascendo ali. Já nasceu 9. Né?
Right, well, fascinating. Thank you so much, Adrian.
Aí, ó,
We'll
já
definitely be
agradeceu
hearing from
um.
you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
E aí, quem é agora? Quem vai acontecer? Puta, agora mais 2 pessoas, mano. É a Katarzyna Tarnaka.
And we have game designer Michał Dujak.
Michał Dujak. Michał Dujak.
So, choices and consequences. The player has to make a choice, and they have to experience or endure the
Katarzyna
consequences. What
e
does
o
that mean?
Michał.
Basically, the whole system of choice and consequences is really,
Tá, tô
really
com preguiça, hein?
I would say the best way
Mais
to
minuto,
describe it
minuto.
is that player is making the decisions based on 3 layers. First one are the choices that you do.
Minuto,
during the main
minuto.
story missions. And those big changes
30
are
segundos,
actually
30
can change the
segundos.
whole game or even how the story ends. The second layer are choices that
27
you do while
segundos.
the quests. And those choices can actually influence the
26.
mission itself. And the last one, the last layer is so-called city
20,
alignment system.
20 segundos.
And I, as a open world
1
game
minuto,
designer,
1 minuto.
would like to focus
Eita, vou abrir pelos 16, perdi a conta, mas não
So,
perco um mês.
water and
mano,
electricity
obrigado, velho.
are basically a key to
Tô sentindo o
survive
cheiro
in
de
every
cavalo.
zone. By
Chat,
restoring
vale a
it,
pena a gente
player
jogar
can
cavalo
not
agora,
only
mano?
unlock
A gente
the
vai ter o quê?
water
1 hora e
or
meia jogando
electricity in the
cavalo.
area, but he can also
Daí a gente vai
basically
meter o
assign
Horizon,
one of the
tá ligado?
factions,
Daí a gente
which
volta
will
pros
influence
cavalos,
how
vai
the
ser esse o
city
plano?
looks like, or
Ou a gente
who's
joga,
gonna
sei lá,
live
alguma outra
inside of
coisa
it.
por 1 hora e
And
meia
also, what
e
is
depois
pretty
joga
more
cavalo.
important for a player,
Gabriel, abriu pelos
unlock new
5,
tools
queimada.
like
Ah, tô
unique
preguiça.
tools
Eles já
for
estão
each
jogando
factions,
queimado, eu acho, pessoal lá,
like
o
car
Val, o
traps,
Cabo.
ziplines, or trampoline. That player can use in exploration
É,
to deal
vou jogar
with
sozinho,
bandits
preguiça.
or infected, or simply to move
Preguiça.
faster through the city. So basically, based on your
20 segundos,
choices,
20 segundos.
you shape the game environment, which gives you a different experience every time you start a new game. And
18
what is
segundos.
worth mentioning here that Dying Light 2 is playable up to 4 co-op
Ah, dá pra
players.
jogar co-op
So
até
you can
4
host
também.
the game or join other players and see how their choices came up differently to your own.
Interesting.
There's one thing I'm really curious about, though. Night versus day. How does the gameplay differ from
Faz
the
o que
night
achar
and
melhor,
the
vou
day?
assistir
Well,
mesmo.
the short answer
Caralho.
is that
Vai
day is
mesmo?
for humans and
Mesmo
night
se eu
is
não
for
fizer nada, ficar parado aqui,
But
olhando pra
despite
câmera.
all,
Link
further,
abriu pelos
I would say
9.
that during the day, humans,
Nasceu nosso pardalzinho. Me conta, o que você é Dragon
bandits
Age? É um
or
RPG tático, meu jogo favorito. Ia ser muito foda ver você matando um dragão da hora. Eu já joguei o Origins, que é o primeiro. Eu não cheguei a terminar, eu achava bom. Eu fiquei com preguiça de terminar só. E os outros eu não joguei, pra falar a verdade. Mas eu gostei do Dragon Age. Eu só não terminei porque eu não lembro, pra falar a verdade. Mas não foi em live não, mano.
Yeah. And that
Dragon
sounds
Age é
quite
muito
pleasant,
maçante depois de
but
20
I'm
horas. Mano,
guessing
esse talvez
night
tenha sido
changes
isso, porque eu não
everything.
terminei. Eu não lembro, faz muito tempo que eu joguei logo que lançou. Chat, 10 segundos. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 9, 7. Deixa só acabar esses 2 desenvolvedores, chat. Daí vamos ver se acaba. Se não acabar, eu fecho. Se acabar, eu fecho também. Deixa só esses 2 desenvolvedores irem embora. Já devem estar indo embora, mano. Vai que eles falam a data de lançamento, mano.
Katarzyna, you're responsible for
Né?
the post-apocalyptic look
9.
of the city. Can you tell us a little bit how about the city
Para de fazer
became to look that
perguntas,
way?
senão eles não vão
Yes, I
embora.
guess the important thing to realize is
Saco.
in
Leinad, abriu pelo
2025,
sub. Amanda, abriu pelo
the
5.
decision
Bem,
was
Savô.
made to use a chemical attack to
vou,
stop
mano.
the spread of the Haran virus.
15/7/2021. 15/7, caralho. Se for 15/7, mano, ia ser da hora, ia ser daqui 2 meses. Um mês quase, né? Estamos quase no 6 já.
And spread under the surface, killing every living plant and every living thing in
Ia ser da hora se lançasse agora, né?
Virtually dead. The soil is,
tô sentindo um cheirinho de grama molhada. Calma, chat, eu também tô, mano. Madeira. Olha, cheiro de pau. Madeira. A gente ia virar pelos 4. Alan canta uma música. Eu não sei cantar não, velho. Cheiro de madeira, velho. Os caras construindo a casa. Gente, não faz nenhuma pergunta pra eles mais, pra eles irem embora, tá? Não que eu não goste deles, mas eu queria que acabasse.
Build and develop the new world of Dying Light 2.
Cheirinho de assaltante? Como assim, cara? Eu assaltei uma pessoa, velho. Eu me lembro, né? Mas a gente assalta mais, tem erro não. Foi um roubo bonito aquele, hein?
In a way, a trip underground, a -1 of sorts, just the corpse of a lost civilization.
Yeah, to say the least. I can't imagine being a citizen living in that city, let alone being a player, and how challenging that's going to be.
Yeah, and hold that thought. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Foram embora, hein?
But it's now time to introduce our next guests.
With us now are Bartosz and Peter. And guys, I have one.
Os caras chamaram mais 2 tio pro bagulho, mano. Na moral, os caras estão achando que o quê, mano?